Elena never believed in the supernatural until she inherited her grandmother's house. The old woman had died mysteriously, found sitting in front of an antique mirror, eyes wide with terror. As Elena explored the dusty rooms filled with crucifixes and salt lines, she noticed something strange. Every mirror in the house was covered with black cloth, except one, a massive ornate mirror in the basement that seemed to pulse with its own dark energy. That first night, Elena couldn't sleep. She kept hearing whispers coming from the basement. Against her better judgment, she crept downstairs with a candle. Standing before the uncovered mirror, she saw her reflection. But something was wrong. Her reflection waved at her while she looked scared. Elena spent the next day researching her grandmother's journals. She discovered the mirror wasn't just antique, it was cursed. Brought from Spain in 1692, it had been used by occultists to communicate with what they called the shadow realm. Every family has it and reported the same phenomenon. Reflections that moved on its own, shadows that existed only in the mirror, and people who vanished after staring too long into its depths. That night, Elena covered every mirror in the house except the basement one. She needed to understand what was happening. At exactly 3 a.m., she positioned herself in front of it with a video camera. What she saw made her blood freeze. Dark figures began materializing behind her reflection, dozens of them, all watching her with hollow eyes. They couldn't exist in our world, but in the mirror realm, they were very real. The shadow beings began communicating through the mirror, writing messages in what looked like condensed breath on the glass. "Let us thou," meaning let us through. "Let us hungry," meaning they are hungry. Elena realized they weren't just watching, they were trying to cross over into our world. The mirror was a portal, and something was weakening the barrier between dimensions. Her grandmother hadn't died of natural causes. She had been pulled through. Elena tried to leave, but the house wouldn't let her. Doors slammed shut, windows sealed themselves, and every reflective surface became a window to the shadow realm. The beings were getting stronger, and Elena's reflection was becoming more independent. It began speaking in voice that wasn't hers, telling her things about her life that only she knew, memories that existed only in her mind. They were reading her soul through her reflection. Desperate, Elena called Father Martinez, the only priest who would believe her story. He arrived with holy water, salt, and ancient prayers. But when he saw the mirror, his face went pale. He recognized it from his exorcism training. It was one of the 7 cursed mirrors created by a coven of dark witches. The shadow realm wasn't just another dimension, it was a prison for souls, too evil for hell. And the barriers were failing. Father Martinez began the banishment ritual, chanting in Latin while Elena held the blessed candles. But the shadow beings fought back violently. The mirror began cracking, releasing cold winds that extinguished their flames. Shadows poured out like black smoke, and Elena's reflection stepped out, reaching out of the mirror to her. The priest's voice grew louder, more desperate. The battle for Elena's soul had begun. As the ritual reached its climax, Elena realized the horrible truth. The shadow beings couldn't take her by force. She had to choose to join them. Her reflection, now fully emerged, offered her a terrible bargain. Come willingly into the shadow realm, and her family would be spared the curse. Refuse, and they would hunt everyone she loved through their reflections. Elena looked at Father Martinez, then at her distorted reflection, and made her choice. Elena stepped towards the mirror, but not to join the shadow beings. Instead, she grabbed a hammer and shattered the glass, sacrificing herself to seal the portal forever. As the mirror exploded, Elena was pulled into the shadow realm, but her sacrifice banished the beings back to their prison. Father Martinez was left sad. That was her. Elena sacrificed herself to close the shadow portal forever.